everyone, thank you for tuning in. This is your instructor Joy. This video will be an answer to a subscriber. This violinist was wondering, how do I find the first finger and how do I keep it? Very good question. Thank you for all your questions, nice questions and comments, sending me donations, booking lessons with me. I really appreciate. So I will be posting exercise videos for a solid first finger position as well as a solid left hand frame this coming Thursday on my Patreon page. You can find the Patreon page in my description below. I encourage you to check it out. So how do we find it? There are several ways. I'm going to show you 4 different ways to find the first finger position, or where to place the first finger and how to keep it. Number 1, easiest way, and it's often done to all of us when we're very new to the violin playing, which is just placing a physical tape on the fingerboard. Of course, it would be better if you have an instructor or some kind of guidance so that you know where to put a tape for the first finger placement. And that's the easiest way and the quickest way. So you put a tape and then you know where to place the first finger. Now, but let's say you've been playing violin for a while, you won't be able to know where to put first finger on without the guidance of the tape, and that's when it gets a little hard. So now, we have to understand there is for example, from open A to note B, which is first finger on the A string. There's a little space from the nut. From the nut to where the finger is sitting. Now that's the space that we have to calculate well. And I find it often in my teaching studio, just understanding the half steps and then help us to listen, that can be very helpful to know where to put the first finger on. For example, let's play open A and play B flat, which is really close to the nut. Nut is this little part. Open A, B flat, right next to nut. Now from B flat, we go half step up, which is about a finger distance. B flat, B natural, and there we have it. That's our first finger. Again, so understanding the physical distance from the nut. And then, while doing that one, try to remember how the sound was. So now open A, B flat, right next to the nut, and from here, about a finger distance, you go up with the same first finger. There you have your first finger. Yeah, so that's another way of finding it when you are trying to find the first finger. And while you do that, see, first you slide it from B flat, A, B flat and B, and then try to hum it. Once you hum it, once you hear in your head, it's a little easier for us to identify which note we're playing. So, open A, B flat, I'm not a great singer, that's B. So, yeah, once you hear it, but then you should be able to identify a bit easier. Once you do that, then see if you can find it right away. And that gets a little harder. Here, we need to do 2 things. Have a little physical guidance, and also knowing how the B natural sound, the first finger note. So here, not everybody, but some violinists find it helpful to know using them where your left hand is touching. So here, this part of finger, I think that you call it knuckle, so, or the very lower joint of the index finger, this part can touch lightly on the side of the fingerboard like that. That. Make sure you're not overly pressing it, just gentle touch, like feather light. And then when you place the first finger, and that leaves a little space, because the hand is coming from the left side, therefore it naturally sits in certain part. And that can be another guidance, yeah? But this can be a little harder because you have to jump it. And always I find it, the best way is knowing from half step up, which means open A, B flat, and then half step up, which is about a finger distance. Yeah, about finger distance, about thickness of your finger. Yeah, that's B natural. Now, that's another way of knowing, just by knowing a physical guidance. So knowing some violinists want to touch on the side of the index finger on the fingerboard, and then when you place it, that's how we know. Yeah, so now last one, actually not last one, third way, second last one of knowing is playing with open string. So we play open A and D together. Now we're going to place first finger, see if we can play open D together. And Galamian talks a lot about this. So in order to improve your intonation, it's always a very good idea to play with the open string or compare with open string back and forth, because then it helps us to listen each note better and then be able to tell whether it's too high or too low. So the reason being is that if it's in tune, it vibrates big and all of a sudden it resonates bigger. So we can tell open A and B. Let's say if I'm a little flat, but not B flat, but just tiny bit flat, and it does not resonate as well. But if I adjust it, make it higher in tune, I don't know if you can hear the resonance. All of a sudden the start vibrating bigger, and the sound opens up, and that's how we know that it's in tune. Now, last way of securing or knowing where to put the first finger and keep it is developing healthy left hand structure. Even though we're talking about knowing where to place the first finger, ultimately we have to know how to keep all the fingers in the right spot by keeping a certain left hand frame in a healthy way. That's the best way. So even if you find somehow accidentally the first finger in the right spot, but if your hand position or hand frame is wrong, and it's a matter of time for it to be out of tune. So it's important for you to develop such a solid, healthy left hand frame. Yeah, and that can be done by many exercises, such as shredding exercise has a repeating finger from 0 and 1, like on and on like that. So I'll be talking about this particular exercise in my Patreon page this coming Thursday, so I encourage you to check it out. But basically, when you do that, make sure you keep your hand frame in one position without moving too much, and then each fingertip moves very lightly, so that if by any chance if we're not sitting the finger in a precise spot, we can always adjust it. Yeah, I hope this video was helpful. Thank you for watching, and please check out this coming Thursday about this solid left hand technique with a good first finger position. Thank you. Hope to see you again. Bye bye.